Ryan Cavalieri then on pole position from Neil Craig in second. Plenty of USA representation at the top of the field with Jared Thibault in third position. Now Jared has put in the fastest lap of the weekend so far, 31.8. I just noticed when I was in the pit area just about 10 minutes ago. Canada has Ty Tessman on the fourth position. Sweden, it's David Ronnenfalk in fifth. Elliot Boots for Britain in sixth. Robert Bataille is in the final. So if you were with us earlier on, there was some, well, confusion is the only word I can think of to describe the issues that we had with Robert Bataille running in the top 5 and then dropping down a few laps. We weren't sure whether he stopped. We couldn't pick his car up out there. Then he dropped down, then he came back, then he dropped down again. So it was all a bit of an issue for Robert and his transponder, but on the count back, he is there and in 7th position. The Australian Kyle McBride, who's impressed everybody this weekend, is in 8th. Martin Bayer in 9th. And Dakota Fend in 10th position. Ryan Mayfield, perhaps surprising to see a driver of his calibre down in 11th position ahead of his countryman Cole Ogden. And then the 3 qualifiers from the Last Chance Saloon, the repechage from the UK, Martin Lee, Cody King from Lee Martin, excuse me, I will do that. Cody King in 14th position and the German Jon Neumann in 15th position. So stand by for action. It's the main final. Grab the Saw Proline Associated and A-Main coverage live from Telford. This is Neo X and we're racing and the pole man gets away. Cavalieri does what he needs to do. Craig follows him away. Neil Craig in second. Jared Thibault getting involved there. Spins him around and there's all kinds of carnage in the midfield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There must have been 8 or 9 buggies caught up there, but the leader is gone. And Ryan Cavalieri from the USA has broken away, coming through into second position. The blue and white buggy.
Tessman. So Tessman amazingly made 2 places up already. Then Thibault and then Boots.
That was Thibault and Neil Craig came together on turn number 2. Right at this point on the first lap. Cavalieri then leads it from Ty Tessman in second place. Then Thibault, Elliot Boots, Neil Craig. Ryan Mayfield is up to 6th position from grid 11 and Dakota Fence followed him through to 7th from grid 10. And that's exactly what Mayfield needed.
He's made a great start. So there we go, round with Cavalieri. Next up will be Ty Tessman. He's not really going in. In fact, Thibault now beginning to look a little bit more closely around Tessman. Let's go back 1 car to Tessman, please. That's your second place back.
Tessman, Thibault, Elliot Boots. Neil Craig's not that far back either, is he? Those 4 battling for second on down. Remember, 45-minute race. Expect to see pit stops at about 9 minutes or 18 laps, 17 or 18 laps.
They'll all be looking for the 9-minute mark. It makes the magic 4 stops through 45 minutes, John.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can really go down to just 3 stops. It's just too far to run. He needs to do 10 and a bit for that. 10 and a half, 10, nearly 11 minutes, really.
Well, 11 minutes. And I don't think we've seen anybody do that, not at the pace that we're expecting these guys to run. Already down to 32s this early on.
Tessman just getting a little bit of air gap between himself now and Thibault. So we're going to go for the 3rd, 4th, 5th battle, which is Thibault, Boots and Craig.
Neil Craig then from second position got rather unceremoniously bumped down the field. He was lucky not to lose more positions. And this is the final. Brought to you by Grout the Saw, Proline Associated and A-Main here live on rcracing.tv from the...
So we're now about 2.5 minutes in, just beginning to settle in to this very long final. Try and work through the first 5 minutes. You say, John, get the first pit stop in contention and worry what you're going to do next.
45 minutes, nobody's going to change wheels and tyres here, though. We see that on the outdoors, but that won't happen here. No,
unless there's a problem with the wheel or tyre.
Oh,
Thibault got away with it. Got away with it.
How lucky is that?
Lost some time, but Boots comes up. This is just sets Tessman get away a bit more, but Cavalieri has a lead now, 2 seconds, and then it's a 1.2 gap. It was between Tessman and Tebow, but now Tebow is going defensive, I think, a little bit to fend off Boots and Cragg. Cragg seems to have enough ground speed. Boots is traditionally very, very fast and occasionally a little bit wild.
What's interesting to me, though, you're right, you've spotted it absolutely, because Jared Tebow in that blue and white buggy there, leading these three, he is driving a defensive line. He is close to the inside of the corners at all stages. He just moves out on the start-finish line to take a more traditional racing line. But you'll see he's not taking the wide entries to any of the corners. He's sharpening things up, but he's settled in to a decent pace. And I think actually he's picked his pace up last time around. Yes, he has. 33.4 last time around. And now he's beginning to drag himself back to Ty Tessman in second place. USA, Canada, USA, Great Britain, USA for the top 5. As Ryan Mayfield has gone by Neil Cragg into 5th position.
When did that happen? Cragg made a mistake, that's why.
Ronefalt not that far away, he's another couple of seconds back.
So Mayfield now beginning to drive through the field. He's got a very fast car that started too far back, but he did get that start he needed, John. He managed to make up 5 or 6 spots in the first lap. And now Tessman's been hoiled back by Tebow.
Yeah.
This is second and third. Cavalieri getting away with a 3.068 lead. But this is now second, third, fourth, and any minute now that blue car of Ryan Mayfield will start funneling up the back of this run.
And I hope they've done nothing to the car, because it was handling beautifully early on when we watched it. He could really just place it where he wanted to. And the advantage was he could race with that car, not just on his own. He could pick different lines. He was able to drive by people. This is a technical track. It's not always easy to put yourself in the position to get by. But if you can get power off the corners and get that power down a little bit early, it gives you the opportunity to make the passing manoeuvres.
Absolutely. Tessman now, having made a little minor mistake and being caught up, is moving slightly further away. Again, trying to get a little bit of air between himself and Tebow. Boots is hanging on to both of them. So it's the HB leading 2 Kyosho's. And as they come now up and over and into the Graupner G, it's interesting. I thought we would see Tessman literally disappear in the distance by half a second. Oh, when he gets, it's a triple love kiss, and in the end, oddly, the winner out of that was Tessman, who got touched first. But I did think we'd see Tessman disappearing in the distance. In fact, now it's Cavalieri who's pulling out at about half a second a lap.
Cavalieri at 32.5, last time around 32.8 for Tessman. Tebow 33 flat, 33.1 for Elliot Boots, 32.2 for Neil Cragg last time around. He's found some speed. His best lap's a 32.1, and he was only a 10th away from that.
Mayfield's dropped to 9th. There's been a big incident for Mayfield a couple of laps ago. He's now back to 9th again. Cragg in 5th, Ronefalk 6th, Battle in 7th, McBride 8th, and Mayfield in 9th. So suddenly, Mayfield's forward momentum has been stopped. And they're going out of frame now is our leader. This is second, third, and fourth. Let's say tight on these 3.
Mayfield's chance had to be to stay as tight as he could, and now at 17 seconds away from the leader, you've got to wonder, even at this early stage with 38 minutes left, what he can do from back there. Mayfield in 8th position.
So Cavalieri completes another lap, this time round at 34.1, slightly slower, so 32.5. Didn't see what the problem was. Cavalieri must have bobbled slightly ahead of them. He's lost a second and a half, and it goes down to 3.3. Tessman now not showing the imperious form we showed earlier, but still looking in control.
Cavalieri, though, has got the best lap of the meeting, 31.5. He's taken that by 0.3 of a second from Jared Tebow's 31.8 that I saw he posted earlier on in the weekend. Tebow's done a 31.9. Also, David Ronefalk's done a 31.9. Robert Bataille's done a 31.9. So we've got 3 drivers in sub 32-second laps in this final already.
But remarkably, the last 3 drivers, who Martin Bayer, Dakota Fenn and Jorn Neumann, no slouches, are beginning to be getting close to being lapped. Such is the pace of Cavalieri at the front. And Cavalieri, in fact, as I can see out the corner of my eye, any second now will gobble up Jorn Neumann for lapping him. And that is in just 7 minutes.
Or 13 laps if you prefer.
So this second, third and fourth group, they're split several times, is still together. Tebow made a slight mistake actually finishing the last lap, which is why the gap's gone up. They were, as a train, just prior to that, going down the pro line steps.
Cavalieri's
pit stops down to 2.5.
Expect pit stops in the next lap or 2, Nick, if you're going to go for the 9 minutes run. I said 17 or 18. We might only see them do 16 laps.
And underneath is a not stopping goes Cavalieri.
Right,
there
keep
goes
it high.
Tessman. There goes Thibaut, and there goes Boots. They've all decided they're going to do at least 8 minutes 40 because that's the next time they get a chance to peel in.
Yeah, that'll be right. I think it will be 17 laps as they come through. It'll be interesting to see if anybody tries. If you're Cavalieri and you're starting to hit traffic, of course.
The other question is, if you're all coming at once, you're not all actually in the order you are,
Well,
you get blocked.
That is a nightmare, and that is a nightmare, and somebody's got to be thinking about that. And we've got 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, 5, and 8. That's your top 7.
And they've all gone round. Now my prediction is they'll be in next lap.
That would be 17 laps.
And that would be 9 minutes and a bit, because you need to go over 9 minutes each run to give yourself a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
So in this lap or the next lap, and that's one of the back markers going in. That's actually
No,
hang on, that was
that was Craig.
That was Craig goes in.
Craig.
Now everyone is heading to the pits. Let me see where our leaders are. Let's get the leaders of the track, please.
And there they are.
Cavalieri coming up now. Cavalieri goes through. Tessman goes through. Thibaut goes through. Boots takes fuel. So Elliot Boots from 4th place takes fuel at the first opportunity. Mick Craddock fuels him up with a fuel gun. Off they go. So that's our 4th place man taking fuel. Let's get back with our leader, please, which is...
It's turned over.
No, that's not him.
Saw the blue car there and got...
No, actually it might be him. I don't know, actually. Where is Cavalieri?
Cavalieri
now
is
coming
number
round.
1.
So Cavalieri now comes round. He should take fuel this time. He's at start-finish now, Cavalieri. And in he goes fuel. So our leader's in the
18
fuel.
laps.
He's going down the pit lane now. Cavalieri picks up some fuel. There he is. Phil, take him out again. Let's go out with the leader. He won't be the leader now because neither Tessman nor Thibaut took fuel, and they're now working their 10th minute. They're not going to try to get 11, are they, John?
Well, they might be. That's the opportunity. Jared Thibaut, by the way, 2nd place from Ty Tessman. But they will have, in fact, have gone through into the lead now. So it'll be Jared Thibaut that leads it from Ty Tessman.
And Thibaut now going down the pro line steps, about to start a new lap. So you can pick up Thibaut as he comes to the start finish now in the blue and white buggy.
There
is
he
he turning left? No,
No.
He is going for 11.
They are going to try and save a
Tessman
stop.
has had a nightmare lap. Tessman is miles behind. Or did he go for fuel? I didn't see it. I don't know.
Well,
Tessman
Ryan Cavallari's gone through in 2nd place. He's 4 seconds behind Jared Thibaut, and if Thibaut is playing this strategy early and saves a pit stop, that would be very, very bold indeed. You've got to do it from the beginning. You've got to set your stall out because this is so tight to do this for 11
We're coming
minutes.
to 11.
And
yeah,
through
he is.
again.
And that will take him to about 11:15 was what he needs to do. He's cut the pit stop. He's going down lean. He's got his engine running as tight as it possibly can.
And he's held on to a 3.3 second lead, Nick.
Thibaut's Team Orion, but he will lose the lead. And the question is, has Tessman sneaked you without a seeing, or has he had a terrible lap and dropped to 4th? This is your leader, Jared Thibaut, 4-time winner of the Neo, already playing the fuel strategy.
Oh, this is remarkable. This is remarkable. We talked about this.
Surely this lap. Surely, indeed it is.
Yes, he's got to. And he comes into the pit lane. Lovely entry to the pit lane.
Where will he come out is the question.
But if he's going to save a pit stop, he can afford to give away probably 10 or 12 seconds to the leaders. He had 4 seconds.
Come out in a melee. He's just come out just ahead of Boots. He's just ahead of Boots in a succession of lapped cars. So that is Thibaut ahead of Boots. So this is 3rd and 4th. Oh, Boots makes a big mistake. So he's come back out again in 3rd, behind Cavalieri, but almost certainly actually ahead of Tessman. And I'm not sure. We must have missed Tessman's pit stop.
So, as he comes back around this time, it will be Ryan Cavalieri who leads on lap number 22. So 21 laps then for Jared Thibaut, really pushing the envelope with the Orion. And he's 2.7 seconds behind. So he's lost the better part of 6.5 seconds on that pit stop.
But he will have one in hand, and so effectively at this rate, if he loses about 2.7 seconds per session, they'll come out right together at the end of the final pit stop. So it is Cavalieri.
Of course, he'll make his last pit stop first, if you see what I mean.
Exactly, yeah. So the dice have been rolled. The tactics, as you say, John, now are set in stone. You can't move away from there. You've done it. The surprise for me is that Tessman is out here in 4th. He's behind Boots, who's on a slightly shorter strategy, but he's ahead. He's behind Cavalieri, who really is going great guns now. The car 1. He's back up to Cole Ogden. Let's see if we can run a little time with our leaders. We need to move forward one car, just go down the straight now.
There he goes into turn 1. Wow, that looks a very well balanced car as well for Ryan Cavalieri.
Prototype associated, Cavalieri long association with the American brand. Turning some great laps now, 24. We're not even a third of the way through, it's flown by.
Well, I'm enthralled by this, and looking at the best times, this is one of the best Neos ever. It has attracted the world's greatest, and look at the lap times. We've got the leader, Ryan Cavalieri, with the fastest lap of the weekend, 31.5, 31.8 for Jared Tebow, 31.8 for Elliot Boots, 31.9 for David Ronnefald, 31.9 for Neil Cragg down in 6th position, 31.9 for Robert Bataille in 8th position. All of those guys inside 32 seconds. This is quality right throughout the field.
And the noticeable thing is we've been watching for about 6 laps since that pit stop, and the difference is just 2 tenths. It was 2.6, now it's a 2.4 second lead for Cavalieri. They're just turning laps. The metronomical efficiency as they go round and round and round and round.
32 flat last time around by Cavalieri. Oh, Tebow's had a 32.8. Lee Martin dropped away from the field there, and Dakota Fenn's off the lead lap as well now.
Couple off the lead lap.
So Cavalieri then leads it. It's 3 seconds, and he's taken most of that time. Last time around, he took 9 tenths. Last time around, Ryan Cavalieri is peppering the 32-second mark. 32 flat, 32.1, 31.9 for Cavalieri.
And the most remarkable thing for anyone who's watched this previous 3 days is that Tessman is being left behind. He's now 9 seconds back from Cavalieri, 7 seconds back from Tebow. Tessman has been beyond the quality of the field. He had TQ by TQing 3 of the first 4 rounds, tried something different in round 5 just because he could. Then he went out this morning and won the e-buggy, always at the fastest. He's been left for dead unless he's got a strategy that comes good towards the end of the race. He's running a harder tyre that will come on and not give up so much grip.
Well, at the moment, it is another 31.8, 31.6 for Jared Tebow. Last time around, Tebow takes a bit of time back. It's still hovering around the 3 second mark. Marvellous stuff. And then it's 8 seconds back to Tessman. And Tessman cannot live with this pace. He's in high 32s. Every lap he's losing to the leaders around about a second or more. That's too much.
At this point, you begin to think, is there something wrong with his car? Because he's never been off the pace like this the entire time.
Cavalieri came good in the semi-finals. He was brilliant in the semi-finals.
And with a prototype car, you're working the whole time, you're changing it, and obviously, as many times you go the wrong way, sometimes you go the right way and find the sweet spot.
So let's drop back to second place. Jared Tebow, the
blue and white car,
some 3 seconds adrift of the leader, and there he is over the whoops in the middle and heading back towards the last few corners of the lap, right under our feet here in the commentary box.
Just for a lap on former world champion Cody King, who looks so fast, the last man standing.
And that is 10th position, already a lap back.
And the sun beginning to shine through the blast doors. When they come around these next couple of corners, you'll see it shining on these cars and illuminating the nitro dust smoke as it hangs in the air. Shedding a flash of light. Luckily, I think it affected the drivers too much. They climb up the hill. They're turning around now. They start turning lap. Oh! As they turning, and that's costing a couple of seconds. And suddenly, but King very, very polite there. Knew his position. Threw himself straight back to Cole Ogden with a metallic
that's a champion win. For you. That is the driving of a champion.
I'm not going to win this one, so I'm not going to ruin your chance. But Tebow now, that's given Cav a break.
Cavalieri at the head of the field has got 3 more laps before he comes in. Or if you prefer, about a minute and a half.
Tessman now 13 seconds back. You're right, it's 3/4 of a second a lap he's losing.
At least.
Boots is matching. Ronnefeld now has got a 5th, so he's moving forward again, but too late. Same thing about Dave Ronnefeld with a new HB.
And Tebow lost, Jared Tebow lost a couple of seconds last lap.
With that double rollover.
Let's go back to Ty Tessman then. Let's see if we can have a look at the Canadian's car, the number 4, just before the pit stop started again.
Quite a long wait. It's the white and the mauve. It'll be round in a few seconds' time. Keep waiting. There we go, there's Tessman. He'll have about a second and a half on Boots.
Let's see if we can see what the problem is for the Canadian here. Well, I'll tell you what I think the problem is there straight away. He's not getting the car to turn in the way he wants to. on turning, that car is skipping wide, and he's not able to get the power on the way he wants it. He's not anywhere near the apeces of the corners, and it's just not handling the way he wants to. It almost looked like his front ride height is either set too high, or it's just skipping across rather than giving him any front turning bite. And I wonder if he's changed anything from earlier on the weekend, but that car just does not look as planted as some of the other machines we've been watching, Nick.
It may be that he's gone to a harder compound for the 45-minute final, which is initially running towards the back and will perhaps come in towards the front later, or perhaps he can't run 45 minutes on the tyres he was making the very fast time was in practice. He's had to go to a slightly different compound that's not working for him.
Right, let's have a look into the pit lane, bottom left of your screen. 34 laps for Cavalieri. Now, did he pop in there? I didn't see him.
That's Boots stopping, so Boots has made his stop.
Well, he made the first stop last time, remember, so Cavalieri should be in next lap around.
Cavalieri's coming underneath us now in timing and scoring. Here he goes. He comes in, he brakes hard, nope, goes around for another lap. So
right,
Cavalieri.
Let's pick up the leader then.
And the leader is going over the double big jump before the DXR corner and plunging down the hill. That's your leader in yellow and orange, about to take the option over the inside of the option.
And Cavalieri then into the very bright area. That is that Cavalieri or is that Robert Bataille?
As Cavalieri is, no, that's Cavalieri one car back for there, one car back.
There we go.
And then goes into
and he's in the pits, perfect timing. So that's your leader in for his second pit stop, 36 laps. So he's done an extra couple of laps that time around on his fuel. He pitted on lap 17 last time.
Running 9.5, so it'll be a short fill for the last stop. Gaining about a minute each time. Thibaut now takes the lead, or does he? It's going to be quite close.
No, he'll have gone through.
Not by much. He was 6
seconds. Well, he was 6 seconds back, yes. He had dropped back.
He is going through, I can see him now. And he's about... Actually, is he? Where is Cavalieri gone?
Cavalieri is on the back side of the circuit.
Cavalieri has kept the lead by a second and a half. Yes, you're right. Cavalieri led that despite the stop. So he threw 5.2 seconds down there. No, Thibaut had a bad lap.
He had a very bad lap.
So it is 7.5 seconds or so the stop is. 7.5 to 8 seconds. Thibaut had a bad lap. So now Thibaut's stop in hand has gone, John.
Yes, it has. And Thibaut's got to pick the pace up now. Let's drop back to second place and to Jared Thibaut.
There he is. I see that more than a second and a half to me.
See, it's 3.1 seconds and Thibaut hasn't got the pace. He's done a 33.8.
So less than a problem. Suddenly it seems like Cavalieri, from being fast, has found some sort of laser warp speed that no one else can keep up with, John. Suddenly he's just laying down the laps.
This is remarkable. Let's have a look at Jared Thibaut then. The American. First, second and Canadian. Third with Ty Tessman. Elliot Boots flying the flag for the home nation here in fourth position. David Ronenfalk is in fifth. Robert Bataille in sixth. And the top 10 is Neil Cragg in seventh, Cody King in eighth, Cole Ogden in ninth, and Kyle McBride, the Australian. I cursed him, didn't I, by saying I thought he could get on the podium from where he was. He's sitting down in 10th at the moment.
And Cavalieri, to my eye, appears to have lapped all the way up to fifth.
Yeah.
So Craig's had a problem somewhere and dropped a long way back. He's now a lap down. We're now with car 10. So let's reposition, see if we can pick up a little bit of David Ronenfalk. He'll be in the orange car. It's currently going over the, about to go up the side boob and go up the double. That's the orange car of Ronenfalk, currently running in fifth place. Current European champion, been champion the last 2 years. Ronenfalk now goes over start-finish in the orange car, the HB. Down the straight he goes. Fifth place, 23 seconds off the lead. Thibaut 2 seconds, but owes us a stop behind Cavalieri.
Well, he's pulled that back, hasn't he, Thibaut, the last couple of laps? Yes, Cavalieri had an awful lap last time around, and a whole second went away to Jared Thibaut, who's found new pace, and a 31.4 is the fastest lap I think we've seen this weekend. 31.4 from Jared Thibaut out of nowhere, and all of a sudden the American has found pace in second place.
Tessman's still about 18 seconds back now. Thibaut right on the tail of Cavalieri. Let's see if we can find Thibaut now. He's underneath start finish right now And he goes down the main straight. And has he
Into
gone
turn
past?
1.
No, it's 1.4 seconds into turn 1. He's got a car in front of him. He must be going past the very similar right Bataille. So Thibaut, who will be due his stop now. We are 22.5 minutes in, so he should stop his second time doing 11-minute runs.
2 more laps. He stopped on lap 21, 22 last time around, so he can possibly do another lap or 2. And he's dragged his way back to Thibaut, but what's important about this is he hasn't got past him, and Thibaut held on to the lead already, having made his second stop.
No, Thibaut hasn't made a second, so making it now. Cavalieri held the lead.
Cavalieri is held on to the lead, having made his second stop. There's the second stop for Thibaut.
And now, once again, he has to stop in hand over Cavalieri. Because he only has to stop once more. Cavalieri has to stop twice more. We're just over halfway. 21 minutes, 10 seconds to go. When it all comes out, Thibaut is going to be about 8.5 to 9 seconds behind now. And he's going to have to try and gain on the track at least 5 or 6 to get back to where he should be on the stops.
He's gonna get almost half of what he needs back with the stop, but he's got to start reeling off those 31-second laps again and putting pressure on Cavalieri.
7-6 back, which is basically a stop. So I don't think Cavalieri had a pretty good lap there. Cavalieri has slightly come off of the boil. He was on an amazing boil, and he's slightly come off now. And he just needs to give himself a stern thinking to up there on the rostrum. Off he's going to go.
What's going to change on these cars, Nick, throughout the course of a 45-minute race? You mentioned tyres. Could you go for a harder option? Might that come in later on? How much difference is that going to make?
Well, basically, the only thing that will change these cars, obviously during the run, you have 125cc of fuel, which weighs 125 grams, which in 3.5 kilograms is not much. And also it's held low. It doesn't really affect things an awful lot. It can slightly affect the jumping, but not for the guys this good. The biggest thing that will happen is tyre wear. Nothing else will wear out in the 45 minutes. It's tyre wear. And you know, they do run cars which, to the human eye, do not have great big blocks and spikes like you think a wading tyre would have. They've got very low amounts of tread, and they kind of massage their way through the dust of the surface to grip on hard to that clay, and the tread will wear. And you can choose the same design in about 4 different compounds, and obviously the softer compound gives more grip but lasts less long. If you're on a soft compound to begin with, you'll get lots of grip, and obviously you have different compound front and rear, so you can balance up understeer and oversteer. As you go on a harder compound, you get less grip. We're not talking about, like ice skating ring to, super glue. We're talking about noticeable and 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths a lap.
Very highly polished surface at this stage of the weekend. By the way, Ronan Falk has just passed Elliott Boots for 4th position. So Cavalieri leads it by 7.21 seconds. Thibaut again has just dropped back a little bit with a couple of laps that he won't be too happy about.
So Thibaut, 7.2, that's almost exactly the same as he was when he came out of the pit stops. He's in a 4/10 move. This is going to be a battle of mistakes. At that point, at the moment, if they manage to do this for 18 minutes, they will come out almost exactly level when the pit stops are over. Tessman in 3rd is something like 10 seconds back, and I just can't understand what the problem is. Are you saying the car doesn't have the front end?
Well, and his best lap time is a 32 flat, where the guys ahead of him have done 31.5 second laps.
And he was doing 31s for fun yesterday in qualifying.
Oh, was he?
So I'm pretty sure he had to go for a harder compound. Now, it may well play into his hands in the second half of the race. And we are now deep into the second half of the race with 18 minutes to go. In fact, let's go and see if we can find Ty Tessman. So you need to wait here for about 10 seconds for our world champion. Any second now.
Well, the other thing
is he comes now, over start finish, hopping up and turning round now.
Well, the other thing is we need to keep an eye on the leader's next pit stop as well. There is Ty Tessman, 3rd position, the Canadian, the world champion. Now, is that car looking any better?
The lap times would say not, 32.5, but let's see what he does this time round. This has been a clean lap so far to my eye, John.
Yeah, he's still...
The first time we've had him on camera.
He's still not getting that front end turned in, is he? Let's have a close look as he comes round to the end of the lap. Well, it's flying nicely. He's got a lot of understeer. I think he's got a lot of understeer on that.
32.2. Ahead of him, 31.8, 31.9. So that was a clean lap. That was as good a lap as Ty can do, 32.2.
Yeah, and he's done a 32 flat as his best lap. He's losing half a second a lap to the guys ahead.
He is as puzzled as we are.
Right, we need to get back to the leader.
So Cavalieri,
it's time for his next pit stop. Ryan Cavalieri,
who is currently just started his lap, about a third of the way through the lap. Cavalieri. Moving as he is now. Where's Cavalieri? Car 1.
There he is, coming through.
Cavalieri now is actually about to go over start-finish, so let's have a look at Cavalieri and start-finish.
Coming through. Now, does he dive into the pit lane this time around? No, he's gone through.
That's not Cavalieri. Cavalieri now, we need to go up. Cavalieri now as he goes round.
Who's that in the pits?
No, stop. That's further down from Boots.
That was a very quick pit stop.
So Cavalieri, who we're trying to get hold of, in position 50.
Now, he's due the pit stop this lap, I reckon.
So Cavalieri now comes over the start finish right now, goes down the lane for one more lap on the main straight.
Right, okay, he got 18 laps. He got 19 laps rather the last time around. 17, then 19.
So 15 minutes to go. If you stop now, you still need to stop again, but he's eking out the back end. Thibaut though, now 5.2 back, John. He's made up 2 seconds in the last 3 or 4 laps. Cavalieri,
that was traffic. That was traffic for Cavalieri.
Net ahead. He is net behind because of the stops.
Got to pit this
time.
There he goes. That's another 19 lap stint. End of his 55th lap.
I think he's filling them in, and out he goes again, and what you'll see is going past his Thibaut. So is that stop, and this is where they are. They both owe us one more stop in the rest of the race. This is the battle for Neo X. Jared Thibaut, the 4-time winner, and Ryan Cavalieri has been here so many years and not won.
But Thibaut does not need...
One stop each to go. One stop each to go.
Well, yes, that's right.
This is the real battle here. They'll be stopping at very different times. One stop to go. Cavalieri got very ponderous around that corner then.
He certainly did.
Thibaut, the master of the Neo.
1.1 seconds at the line. And this is two very different tactics. The long run, the long game paid by Jared Thibaut, who leads it now, and that is a net lead. There's one pit stop for both of them.
Cavalieri's pace seems to drop slightly. He needs to get himself back in his rhythm. Let's focus on Cavalieri. See if he can pull up towards Thibaut. Thibaut's next stop isn't for a number of minutes.
Yeah, no, he's...
he won't stop until earliest 11 to go. It'll be 11 to go before he'll stop.
66 laps he can go to. Now he may not go that long, of course.
Cavalieri dropped a couple of tenths in that last one. It was a 32.
This is remarkable,
31.9 from Thibaut, 32.1. They are turning lap times that are quite literally the fastest we've seen the entire weekend.
31.9 last time for Jared Thibaut, 32.1. Unbelievable. The average time, including pit stops, for these guys is still under 33 seconds, including the pit stops.
And suddenly, when it got real, two drivers have emerged. Cavalieri all day has got faster and faster, and Thibaut has just found his race head from all sorts of problems early in the weekend.
And Ty Tessman is now half a minute plus behind this in third position, and he's going to come under... In fact, he's under pressure now from Ronefalk for third on the podium. So we have a real battle in third position. Ty Tessman in the number 4 car has got David Ronefalk cruising up to him. Let's see if we can pick up Ty Tessman then. He's almost a lap back.
Tessman 27 seconds behind, so we'll need to go forward on the lap to find him. The orange car of Ronefalk might be an easier spot.
There he is. There's the battle through the sunshine. That's the battle for third place, isn't it?
It is indeed. So Ronefalk has found pace, as we thought he had done. Not enough to live the two Americans in the front, but the Canadian appears to be fair game. Tessman's car just not doing it. And as you say, John, he's about to lose the final spot on the podium. Ronefalk.
And again, just look at the lap times. 32 flat for Ronefalk, 32.1. Ty Tessman, 32.6, 32.4. He's just bleeding time away. It'll be so interesting to hear what he's got to say at the end here and find out what went wrong with his setup, or whether he's just lost a bit of pace himself. You wouldn't expect so for somebody so experienced. He's used to long championship weekends.
I just think they've made a major mistake in setup somewhere. Whether they had to change a compound because they couldn't make it last 45 minutes or what, but you know, he was doing 31.2, 31.4s yesterday in qualifying, but here, nothing. And Ronafalk now is actually making Ronafalk is beginning to pace himself to Tessman, which is not a good idea. And Cavalieri and Thibaut are as close as they can be.
And there's been an incident out on the circuit, and Cavalieri's gone through into the lead.
They're together now. Let's go back to Thibaut and Cavalieri. They come round and about to go round side boob. They are just behind us.
Oh, there they go.
They're battling up the hill. Round the project. There we go. So they're right together.
Good pick up, guys.
There's been a pick up and a go. But what the interesting thing is, they're only about 4 seconds behind Ronafeld and Tessman.
They've almost lapped the whole field. This is remarkable. Thibaut, it's 0.3 of a second. And Thibaut has one more stop to take in about 2.5 minutes' time.
Thibaut can stop any time from 2 laps onwards if he wants to. And I guess he'll want to get it out of the way.
I don't know. I think you go as long. You go as long as you can and keep the other guy behind you. If you can keep the guy behind you, you stay out there. If you lose the position, you pit. That would be my tactics. At the moment, it looks as though Thibaut's car doesn't have the speed. 32.8 and 32.7. This is relatively slow for these guys. That's half a second off their pace.
Because Thibaut started running defensive, John. That's what he's doing. He's thinking about blocking Cavalieri.
It's the right tactic. I think that's the right tactic.
They got so much time in hand. Here they come. Through Cyber, jumping through the shafts of light, which eliminated by the nitro. They are effectively. Thibaut is holding Cavalieri back. Cavalieri knows he has to make a completely clean pass.
Nice.
Cavalieri now is hoping.
And he's coming early on. He's messed it up going into the pits.
He tried to fake it. He tried to fake and confuse Cavalieri. It's cost him about a second. So
right,
now,
that's his last stop now. 10.5 minutes to go. Well, that was only 22.44. That was only 19 laps.
He's back timing it, John. He can get to the end on this one now. Clearing out. Now the question is.
But he's come out into clear air. Now he's got to make the best of this. He's got to get his head together and start getting back down into 32, very low 32s or high 31s.
So we should be with Thibaut. Thibaut going down the main straight now.
31.599 from Cavalieri.
He's been released.
And he knows what he's got to do now. He's like a cork from a bottle, and Cavalieri is pushing on. And what we've got to see now from Jared Thibaut here is he's got to respond.
And Thibaut coming now, about to go down the and up round the road, up the hill.
His outlap from his pit stop was a 40.03.
He lost a second and a half in that crash. Should have done the 39. Now he has to push like heck.
This is his first flyer outside of the pits. 32.1. He's lost 0.3 of a second. Plus his pit stop. Now what's Cavalieri done? 31.8, 31.4, 31.8 for Cavalieri at the head of the field. This is remarkable stuff. Of course, Cavalieri can stop any time now as well.
So at this point, we need to move to Cavalieri. He's a few seconds further up the road in the car 1.
He's already gone through.
That's it. Okay.
He's on
just at the start of the race.
Oh, was that him pitting?
Stop. That was his stop. No. Out to the far end of the circuit.
Was that Cavalieri stopping?
Car 1, please. There he's underneath. I think that is car. There's 2 very similar cars, but is that car 1 there? No, that's not him. Here he goes underneath us now. He's on the pro line steps. He's turning round, going up the hill.
Yeah, got him.
Start finish now. And down he goes. What was that lap for Cavalieri?
As he goes through now. No, it wasn't him. So he's still got a stop to do. But it's a 32.2. That's brilliant stuff from him. 32.2 from Jared Thibaut from a 33 last time around, I noticed.
9.9 the gap, and it'll take about 7.5 for the stop. So
pit.
He's going to come out with 2-second lap.
He's got to pit. He pits now. If he pits now, he can keep track position. He can stay ahead. But if he hits traffic, it may cost him. He's inside the window. I'd pit him now.
One more.
Dangerous.
They're looking at the short fill.
Nick, he's got clear track ahead of him. He's trying to make the best of it. 31.8 last time around. That's justification.
Thibaut 32.3.
10 seconds.
Half a second went there.
10
Cavalieri.
seconds, the gap.
He had that slow phase in the after the last pit stop, but now he's suddenly actually laying it down. I wonder whether Thibaut's having more problems pacing himself against nobody than he was having against pacing himself against the driver.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. And he goes through again. And the gap, 31.9. So Thibaut is going to have to reel off some 31s, and he's not able to do it at the moment. He should be coming through any second now. 31.9. He's back down at the 31s. So Thibaut then, is he getting his act back together? 10.4 seconds. That's the biggest the gap's been. Remember that. It's on lap number 69 with 7 minutes and 1 second to go.
So Cavalieri now turning with 7 minutes or so to go. Is he going to drop that? No, another lap. So he really is running literally to the tank, which would take
Can't go to the end from here.
No, but it will take about 5 minutes to go. So 2 more laps, and I think we'll see Cavalieri in.
He's got to really hope that he doesn't get caught up. He's got to be sensible about this. He can pit any time now and get to the end. He's in the window. He mustn't get involved in somebody in the pit lane. He doesn't want to get held up, but as you can see, he hasn't passed anybody for 3 or 4 laps.
Found a lovely clear piece of track.
And he's using it.
Next car is about 4 seconds ahead of him as he looks to go. No, goes wide again. So that last lap for Cavalieri was another sub 32, a 31.9. He has put in a succession of laps.
33.2 from Thibaut. That's not what we want to see, and Thibaut is dropping away. It's 11 and a half seconds now.
But it'll come back to 4 once Cavalieri laps. But Cavalieri, who's been headed in the middle of this race, but suddenly in this last section has once again found his mojo.
I don't understand why Jared pitted with so much time remaining. He was 3 laps shy of what he could have done. Into the pits, the leader. This is the last pit stop. It's got to be clean. The guys have got to do their job. The pressure is on. The fuel is in. He's down and away, and he's got out, and he has not lost the lead. Cavalieri gets back out in front, and now he dictates the pace to the end. And there in behind, just as we see behind, not the very next car, but the one after it, that is the man who's chasing him down.
No, that he's actually come out ahead of Ronefalk, and then it's Tessman who's been lapped behind him. That's Ronefalk in third.
My
Tessman
apologies.
Fourth there, the second white-blue slash behind you. That is Thibaut. So
there he is.
Cavalieri has a huge lead and 2 cars, 2 very fast cars between himself and Thibaut.
He's outlapped at 38.1, so he gains 2 seconds on the pit stop, as well as his pace, Nick. That 40-second outlap from the pits with that stumble, that has cost, I'm afraid, that has cost Jared Thibaut any chance here.
Now, as long as he stays 4 wheels down, this is Cavalieri's to lose, because he effectively can ease back by half a second a lap.
5.5 seconds. 5.5 seconds. He's got this one.
He can ease back by half a second a lap, and still, with all that extra margin for error, take this one home.
Brilliant. Brilliant tactics. Jared Thibaut rolled the dice on the longer run, and it looked like it might have paid off, but a couple of mistakes and a few slow laps has cost him. He had to be absolutely perfect, and he managed to mess up the entry to the pit lane for his 3rd and final stop. He's done it on 1 pit stop fewer than this man. But Cavalieri is 32.4, 32.1 from Thibaut. Thibaut gets some time back. It's under 5.5 seconds.
Ronefalk has put in a superb performance, pick up 3rd, beating Tessman at the moment, the final podium place. Everyone's finished their stops as we hop along.
Yeah, and he's 7 seconds up on Tessman as well. Tessman has had an absolute nightmare with his setup. That can only be, that is the only explanation, Nick. I can't think of anything else.
Obviously, 4th place at the Indoor Worlds could be called a nightmare, but by his standards, absolutely.
Well, and also from the form that he was showing earlier on in the weekend, he's qualified 4th in the final, and he's just gone nowhere.
Cavalieri has come from really way back a couple of days ago, developed the car, and today, I mean, you come here today and you probably thought all the time he was the guy in the lead.
Yeah. Well, but you made a good point about the car. This is a prototype. It's brand new. It's been under development. The guys are still learning this car, and my goodness me, form an orderly queue now, because this looks like the car to beat.
Well, certainly in the hands of Ryan Cavalieri, but no, on the whole, the Associated, they had been in the doldrums with their chassis for about 3 or 4 years. They had a full start with a redesign about a year and a half ago, which what probably led to Ryan Mayfield leaving the team. The other, the 2 American Ryan Axis. He's now with TLR, and his race really never took off. He's now way down, 5 laps down, not sure if he's even running. But it is Cavalieri who's giving us a bit of masterclass. He jumps rather beautifully through the smoke haze of the sun, and he has now just 2:37 to go, and he's holding Thibaut at bay by 5.5 to 6 seconds.
Yeah, almost identical lap times that time around, 31.7 and now a 32 flat for Cavalieri, and that's all he has to do. 31.7 again from Jared Tebow. He's got to get down into the low 31s now. 31.4. Oh, so he has done. He's taken half a second back, but that's not going to be enough, Nick. He's going to need to take bigger chunks than that, or it will have to be 6-7 tenths a lap, and 5 tenths. It's an awful lot round here on Cavalieri at this pace, and 5 tenths is still not enough.
And the big thing is that the real hope for him is that Cavalieri makes a mistake, but Cavalieri has not even looked like making any sort of mistake for something in the recent last 20 laps we've been following. The traffic has been very well managed by the referees. They're getting out the way. Excellent work by the officials here. They're getting the drivers, and they're very respectful. Of course, one of the advantages in high heat is everyone knows who everyone is by their body shell, and they know where they are in the position. They let Cavalieri through, and he has been beyond inch perfect for the last 20 minutes.
5.1 seconds more time taken out of Ryan Cavalieri by Jared Tebow. He comes through again, 31.9 last time around.
Minute and a half to go.
32.4, that's a slow lap for him.
Again, 8 tenths, but he doesn't need to go fast. He's now
4.3 seconds. Now this is more like it.
He's doing the Jackie Stewart thing, winning in the slowest possible time. He knows where he is. He's got the peripheral vision to see Tebow. He knows if he winds it back by half a second, he reduces his chance of an accident probably by 50 to 80%. And this is the thing now, he can...
Yeah, he's driving faster than you or I could ever dream to, but by his standards, he's eased off.
He's walking in the park here.
Yeah.
He did all the work in that section between minute about 25 and 35. He just put
his
all the
middle
work
section.
there.
Absolutely right. Brilliant stuff. 31.9 and a 33.3 for Jared Tebow, and that's it. It's all over. He's not coming back from that with 40 seconds to go. It's Ryan Cavalieri who's going to take Neo X live here on RC Racing TV. Powered by Grout Nassau, Proline Associated and A-Main. What a run. And
he's starting his last lap, and it really is a victory lap. It will just be a case Tebow will get on and join him. Ronnefeld, big cheer for him with his new chassis with HB. Looks like he's going to best his teammate, Ty Tessman, and take Ty off the podium. But frankly, Ryan Cavalieri has been the standout performer of Monday. And let's be honest about it, they say drive for show, putt for dough, and Monday is all about the dough. Friday, Saturday and Sunday were all about the show, but it is the man who takes it down as he goes down the pro line for the last time. He comes over, and the Neo X winner is Ryan Cavalieri!
And it's going to be somewhere in the region of 10 seconds back to our second placed car as we wait for Jared Tebow, who I think still has the fastest lap of the weekend, in second place. And the all-North American podium is avoided by David Ronnefalk from Sweden, getting a European on there in third place. Ty Tessman disappointing the Canadian in the final. Elliot Boots held his position, went up one from his grid. Martin Bayer improving from 9th to 6th. Cody King from the US from 14th to 7th. And Dakota Fend up from 10th to 8th. Neil Cragg disappointed to drop down from grid 2 to 9. Ogden Cole 10th position. And the rest of the field we'll check through in just a moment or two's time. So let's just have a quick results check there for you. 83 laps for Ryan Cavalieri in the 45 minutes, with Jared Tebow getting the full trip as well. And in third position, David Ronnefalk, with Ty Tessman, the unlucky man, off the podium. Further down the field, disappointment for Jorn Neumann, for Ryan Mayfield, who never got into the pace of the race. Lee Martin and Robert Bataille didn't get really into that race at all. Barely half of the laps of the leader. Well, Nick is down underneath the podium waiting to get a word with our winners. Let's go down to him now.
Fantastic performance. I mean, inch perfect for 45 minutes.
Yeah, the car was unbelievable. Made a really good tire choice going into the main. Pit guys were awesome. I mean, the pit lane is very difficult to get into, and man, I nailed it on the last pit stop. I knew Tebow had to go 11 minutes, and he was one stop less than I was, so I had to be perfect that last 10 minutes, and came away.
When you're running such a long strategy, 11 minutes 30, do you have to make compromises on power? Do you have to detune the engine as such to get that mileage?
Yeah, I never pulled full throttle one time. You know, I was a little worried. we kind of short pitted in the semi and then went long. We went about 11:05 in the semi, and I had a ton of fuel left. But my engine was a little too fast, so I richened the top end up, and I was really nervous before that first pit stop. You know, you just don't really know. And I mean, my engine ran totally perfect, so it didn't feel lean whatsoever. So I was nervous, but first pit, Joe, you know, said, all good on the fuel, drive how you are driving. So, you know, I had to drive easy. I like to rev it in the air before I land, so I wasn't doing any of that. Was completely coasting down the steps, was pulling half throttle on the straightaway, was trying just never to pull full throttle. It worked out, you know. I really thought it was going to help me win. You know, we're real close with Ryan. I just blew it coming into pit lane that last pit stop, and that cost me the win.
Yeah, it wasn't awesome. It wasn't an awesome race, but you know, we never gave up. You know what I mean? It was a tough race. All 3 TLR cars that came from the States made the main, which is, to me, that's a success. You know, Dakota got back up to 8th after a really bad start, which, you know, sometimes that doesn't say much, but this is an extremely difficult race, and we were all at a pretty bad tire disadvantage. The AKA clay tires seem to be by far the best tire, and you know, there's only 2 guys out there that had them, and they dominated the race. They're great drivers. Good job for them. Congratulations, Cavalieri. But we had a decent weekend. All 3 cars made the main, like I said, so not too bad. I had some problems in my main event, but oh well. Come back next year.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, starting 5th, I knew I needed a clean start to be able to challenge for the win and stuff, but I got the worst start possible as well, so I ended up in the back of the pack. I kept my head down, told myself to keep on going. I knew I had the pace from the semi, so I knew it was going to be good if I just kept on, like, the mistakes out, and yeah, in the end it was pretty good.
It must have been nice to go past Tessman, who was obviously the favourite beforehand, your fellow HB driver. Is it a bit of a pleasure to get past the team leader?
Yeah, of course. You always want to be the first one in the team, and yeah, I mean, we the racing between us out there was clean, and yeah, he just had a long mistake. I know, like right after I had my mistake, that kind of cost him the 3rd place, I guess.